Alrighty, it's the next video I'm going to record here. So I happened to catch a little bit of the stream with V-Man Vosh, and they're mentioning that the U.S. is basically like the Weimar Republic right now, and that there's this real push. And I was going to make other videos about it, but I think I'll just mention it in this one. The Weimar meme is dead. Wignats, I think you should stop, or you know what, let's just be honest. White nationalists, TRS folks, whoever, stop using the Weimar meme. It is dead. It is deader than the idea of unions in the U.S. It is dead. When I see Vosh and when I see his audience say, yeah, the U.S. is basically like Weimar, the meme, the gig is up. Even though I have done a stream where I was showing the like the Weimar era and the discussing attitudes of it, we need to let the meme go. We need to let the Weimerica meme go. I understand people have podcasts with the name Weimerica. I get it, but it's just whenever someone like Vosh or his audience uses it, it's a dead meme. It is. I've seen so many people shit their pants over these laws against the voter suppression that's going to occur, such as in Texas and in Georgia, this and that. And I think it's it's a very complex subject. I think that the reality is that people want to maintain the system for as long as possible. And of course, I'm making a lot of videos where I feel like I feel conflicted about what I'm about to say. But I think I'll say it is that people want to keep the system as it is. They don't want to have a system that's already broken. They want to have their revolutions or whatever the case may be as peaceful as they can be, quote unquote, and be able to step in and then just take it, But many folks have become accelerationists, and to a point, I have said I'm an accelerationist. I think that people want to try to maintain the system that we have. That way it's easier to try and, build something new out of it, right? That's what the left and the right basically want. They don't want to rebuild from scratch. This is why they'll talk about peaceful protests, this and that. They don't want to destroy everything. So, yeah, I think it's just silly where, people are just like, this is the last step. Oh, the Republicans are, this and that. Oh, we need to change the Republicans' minds. We need to talk to them, this and that. I saw plenty of folks. I guess Vosh brought that up at the end of, one of his segments as he's going to put in, as a separate video. But the thing is that they're not going to talk to them. No one's going to talk to the Republicans, this and that. They'll just show violence. They will just show, they will pit their facts and their logic versus the feelings and the opinions of, Republicans or 3%ers or whichever group you want to say is nasty at that particular time. Apparently they're all the same thing, but they aren't going to talk to these folks. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, is that once the Republican Party becomes irrelevant, if this is what people really want, makes the Republican Party irrelevant, you're going to have enough moderate Republicans who are going to become Democrats. And they'll say, please let me in, much as the same analogy as I was making with rats. The rest will create their own party. They'll create their own party, more of a fascist outright party, if you want to say it that way, regionally, not nationally. There will be plenty of areas that will refuse the fash as much as possible. At least in my opinion anyway. So I think that I just don't believe it to occur in the same way. I think that, like I say, the U.S., what'll probably happen is eventually you're going to have an economic crash. Same way, similar to what happened with, other countries, Weimar, Germany. I know. Cringe, you're such a hypocrite. I know, but I'm going to say it, is the economy will collapse. But unlike Weimar, like I said, Germany was a fairly, this is where I cope. So just, here we go. Here's what the cope, here's what the whatever you say. But Germany, even when, you had part of Poland and Danzig and all that other stuff, Germany relative to the United States was fairly small. The U.S. is still a federation, right? It's still a federal government where there's state, county, and city, and of course the federal government, which complicates things, doesn't it? Yeah, the Germans had different states too, such as the, Baelish, the Bavarians, the Ruhr and all this other stuff. But the thing is to me that those were, those are different areas, it's not versus states that actually control money flow, this and that, and they have much more I'm trying to be very, very careful about this, but I think that it's just going to be very complex. It's going to be much more complex, in my opinion. It will be, I think I've seen this before, is that the U.S. will be like a Syria. And that Syria, obviously had many issues and whatnot. And, the Syrian Arab army, of course, is coming in and liberating their country. The U.S. army, though, and the U.S. military as a whole, in my opinion, at 3 million, does it have the strength to take on more people? I don't know. That's the whole thing, right? That's where questioning about balkanization and everything else, I think that it's a much more complex thing. But all this talk about, oh, well, we need to hold up democracy, this and that, is it? What are they going to do? Are you going to force the Democrats to do something about it? And of course, we're going to hold up democracy by arresting people, this and that. We need to maintain the democracy. That can only work for so long. Eventually, you're going to arrest somebody that didn't have very much to do with the situation. And because of that, you're going to create more terrorism, and more, just like events like Chaz, this and that, because it was an event. It was not a real thing. I think that people can cope about it all day, but I think that's what it was. And we're going to see more of those events come up. Anywho, I think didn't really leave that on a smart point or a, kind of a wrapping up point, but I do think that there's a lot of complications, and I think that now is a time to try to clarify our positions, and I'm trying to clarify what I actually think could happen or what I may believe versus what other people believe. So I think that's where I'm at. So you can disagree, or you can just say, no, that's bullshit. Take it for what it is. Hopefully y'all enjoy that. See you later, and a goodbye.